I was quoted in Sputnik about whether the US was weaponizing the dollar. And that's what I said it's done. And I said Turkey will not be the last to be targeted. Sputnik spoke to myself and I said that the US has been weaponizing the dollar. On Sunday, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan described the US as behaving like wild wolves and said Ankara would pursue non-dollar trade transactions with Russia and other countries in a bid to bypass the dollar's global dominance. The lira, as you know, has plunged after the US targeted the Turkish currency as part of a row over a US pastor, Andrew Brunson, who was arrested in October 2016 over aiding an organization led by the Islamic preacher Fethullah Gulen, who Ankara believes was behind the attempted coup in July. That year, Gulen is of course living in exile in the US. I said the dollar is a weapon and Trump is relishing his financial warfare strategies. We have exited a period when the living was easy and the world was awash with a golden flood of dollar liquidity. Many policymakers imbibed the Kool-Aid and believed in this new normal. Now we're reverting back to the status quo ante. The tide has now reversed. President Erdogan's voodoo economics worked in the time of the golden flood of liquidity, but under today's less benign conditions, no one except die-hard Erdogan-supporting Turkish nationalists is prepared to throw good money after money gone bad on the basis of Erdogan's hocus-pocus monetary policy. I said I'm not sure if the weaponization was by design or by accident, but what is crystal clear is currencies like the Turkish lira, which has fallen 42.5% year to date, are the equivalent of offering you an opportunity to pick up pennies in front of a freight train, that being the dollar. I've listened to many folks rail against the dollar's hegemony and for eternity. Gaddafi and Saddam spring to mind, and both ended up dead. It is not possible for Erdogan to bend the arc of monetary policy making to his will. And if he continues down this path, the Turkish economy will continue to crater. And we can see very clearly where cratering economies end, like Venezuela and Argentina. I also said he's a mercurial politician, but he reminds me of a man walking around a tinderbox with a match in his hand. He's endangering himself and his legacy is in peril. I said Trump's aggressive foreign economic policy is the signature success of this administration. It is highly effective. Look at Venezuela to see its most extreme output. Iran is in a similar bind. China is in retreat, notwithstanding some bravuro talk. Trump can keep it up, it's working a treat, I said. I also said the only politician who had managed to stave off a currency attack from the dollar was Malaysia's Mahathir Mohamad. For the foreseeable future, I do not see gold, the Chinese renminbi, or crypto replacing the dollar. It's not going to happen in our lifetimes. And then I was asked who could be the next target, and I said, South Africa, beware. South Africa strikes me an example of a country that should be worried, very worried, and I was hinting at Trump's recent tweets which have come out in support of white farmers who claimed they've had their farms seized and been subjected to mass killings. I wrote about this on the 20th of August, currency puzzles in a weaponized dollar. I said on the 13th of August, Trump seems to be relishing his financial warfare strategies. And on the 13th of August, I went back to Hunter S. Thompson, The Edge. There is no honest way to explain it, because the only people who really know where it is are the ones who have gone over.